Man, I fucking hate gachas. Ugh. This is gonna be a really quick video. Maybe we'll see. Also, yeah, I'm doing something a little bit new. Depending on how lazy or active I am, this is going to be a completely different face or some way of processing it. Anyways, for disclaimer, I have to make it abundantly clear that I am mainly talking from the perspective of someone who has only played miHoYo property such as Genshin, a little bit of Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, Wuwa, a little bit of Fae, Kingdom Hearts Key. That's not what it's called. It's Union Cross. That's what it was, and like other minor properties. But for the most part, my opinion is coming mainly from the miHoYo properties and Wuwa, and a little bit of Kingdom Hearts Key. That's still not what it's called. It's Union Cross. Anyways, if you know me personally, you know that I don't really like gachas. Now, this isn't something that's new or anything that is realistically a surprise to most people. In fact, a lot of my close friends and a lot of people who will just listen to me know I fucking hate gachas. Now, there's a couple of reasons, and I have gone over them with my friends in the past, and I'm not going to really say that I have a clear and concise method. In fact, I wrote down a list of things that I have to talk about in order to get my point across that I don't really like gachas. So I'm going to follow it almost to a T, but it's not going to be anything that's coherent. It's just going to be a list of ramblings. Also, if you're going to wonder what's on the back, even though you can't really see it because it's a fucking white piece of paper, this is my grocery list. There's like 6 things on it. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I only eat 6 things. It just has to do with the fact that I have no idea what I'm going to be cooking, so I need to start making more shit on that grocery list. Anyways, that's not the point. Why don't I like gachas? Well, there's like, again, multiple reasons. Well, for one, I don't really like drip marketing. You might be thinking to yourself, repent! What do you mean by drip marketing? Isn't everything in a gacha drip marketing? Yeah, why do you think I don't like them? Also, what I mean by drip marketing is kind of questionable, but it's mainly the factor that gachas are very much meant to like maintain interest by feeding you like small amounts of content at a time. For instance, you'll get a new character, you'll get minor story bits, you might get event bits that have something to do with the story, but then they kind of like hide their hand over it, or they don't really elaborate, and they just tease small things that they probably won't talk about over and over again. Second thing that I don't really like when it comes to drip marketing, sometimes limited events are like way cooler than the actual main gameplay. Now you might be thinking, what the fuck is he talking about? And this mainly comes from the fact that I remember something in Star Rail that was so cool, and it just proves that I might be a little autistic. But I loved the market managing of the museum. That shit was fun as hell, and I like some of the other mini games that they come out with, but they don't really do much in terms of spicing it up. There's no real difficulty change besides doing a minor increase in difficulty, but it's mainly there only to give you like some currency, and then you move on. Pause. I need to like interject here. I realize that what I'm saying doesn't really make sense in that I'm saying that it's very entertaining, but it's not filling. What I mean here is realistically that it's good in terms of being something that tides you over, but it does not enhance the already established mechanics, such as whatever the fighting mechanics are, or the already established internal mechanics, such as grinding out other material and things of that nature. There's not a lot of story events, or if they are, they're very minor in terms of actual plot progression, and they are supposed to be somewhat able to be ignored, so that way people don't have to like scram to complete them and have to spend all their time with it. It very much sucks. It's content that's just there to be content. It's not necessarily there to further your enjoyment and story. Now, that's not to say they're not made with love and integrity. They are really well made. I just think that they kind of like drop the ball pretty easily when it comes to these types of phenomenon. It also doesn't help that when you play these, it's like significantly different than the what the gameplay loop is trying to be. You might be thinking, well, what do you mean? Well, for instance, a lot of the times when you have more uh, gameplay or events with different gameplay loops, it causes a great divide in the actual gameplay, and you're not really reinforcing the main gameplay loop, which is the whole reason why people come to play the game. It very much sucks. Like it feels like, oh, you want me to play another game, but I have to play this game because this is where all my currency's at. It's kind of crazy, actually, when you think about it in that way. But I'm not going to go too deep into that because if I do, I might have to make 6 different videos about it. But for the most part, it's just that when events come out, they are not they're well implemented, but they're not well like established in terms of like being the initial game. It very much feels like a separate game that's plopped on top of the actual main focus, and the actual gameplay kind of gets ignored and sidelined. If you want to be like, well, can you give me examples? Think about the TCG in Genshin. Think about the fucking museum side event. That was the first side event in Honkai Star Rail. ZZZ had a musical event where you had to tune things up using like catching to the beat, and it still technically exists in other small bang boos, but it's not as it's not as prominent, and you can't really do intense and intriguing things. I think in Persona 5, or Persona Phantom X, there's also another mini game that is completely separate to the actual one, where it's just a rhythm game. I fucking love rhythm games, but I'll probably make a whole different video about that. But events don't really have a concise gameplay that fits with the original gameplay, and it hurts the actual love of the game. I'm saying game a lot. Take a shot every time I say it. Oh yeah, FOMO. FOMO sucks. So again, something that's very much integral to these games is that they have FOMO. Or if for you who don't know what FOMO is, it's fear of missing out. A game that focuses heavily on doing FOMO with events, small characters, and all that nature, it very much punishes people if they are not up to date with every aspect of the game, as well as punishing them for not being in the loop. It very much is meant to make it so that everyone is day ones, and if they're not day ones, they feel like they've already lost out. It's very hard to justify playing gachas when you're just jumping in. It sucks. It very much hurts the general market. Plus the factor of, again, FOMOs. If you miss events, you lose out on currency. If you miss out on minor events, you don't get certain things. If you miss out on character events, you don't get certain characters, and you have to wait. And sometimes there's limited run characters that you don't get, and they just never will come back. It very much sucks, and it hurts me. What else we got? Let's see. Oh no, about the fucking stories. So I was kind of talking about how drip marketing is a very intense portion of the actual games, but it's not necessarily the thing that makes them cool. What makes games, these gacha games, suck is their story. Again, I very much state that I don't like the drip marketing. A lot of the story events kind of just pander around those types of things. You're very much chasing the next big patch so you can get a big story segment, but then you kind of like sit there and wait for the next big patch to get another big story segment, and you don't really get a conclusion until you get to act conclusions. It very much is reliant on you waiting for the next big thing. But another thing that makes story kind of very sucky is repetitive dialogue. And realistically, it's just dialogue that keeps happening, that say the same thing over and over again, or they talk about the same thing consistently, and it feels as though you are going mad every time someone is like, hey, did you hear about Zaza? He is the god of whatever. Oh yeah, Zaza, the god of whatever, right? It happens a lot more than you think because of how the game is made, how gachas are made. Characters aren't allowed to really grow. They can only stay somewhat within the parameter. They're not allowed to move past whatever they have unless they are in a major arc, and that's because they are already know that, hey, by the end of this arc you're gonna like them, and then that's it. That's as much as growth as they're allowed to do. Also, fuck energy systems. Energy systems can suck my dick. I hate them. uh, they have hard limits to activities. It makes it really hard to grind out certain material, especially if you just want to be playing to play the game. It very much hard limits you into like uh grinding out once per day, and if you don't get your grind out, you have to suck it up and wait for the next day, and it's just like a hard limit. It just sucks, man. I really just want to be playing the game, and I want to just get in there, really invest my time into getting X material for this thing, and then I spend so much time on that character. I'm like, cool, and then I spend so much time on another character, and I'm like, cool. Yeah, but because of the energy system, it hard limits me to focus on one thing barely. And if I don't do it correctly, I feel like I'll be wasting time. It just sucks. It can also be it can be severely punishing for newer players, because again, they're already starting on a back foot, and and if they want to catch up to all the material, they have to spend so much more effort than other people to catch up. And if they're not getting the right stuff, or they don't know how to get there, it very much sucks for them, especially when it comes to world leveling and things where you need to get at a higher level in order to get the better shit. It just sucks in terms for new players. Also, the RNG doesn't help in that term either, because the energy system very much hinders you from being able to continuously try to roll for new things, and the RNG makes it even harsher, because if you let the RNG run wild more, it essentially makes it so that you're always trying to get the new thing, and if you don't get the perfect set, you're always fucked, and you have to always be trying to get the new thing until you either settle or spend money to get the best items. Endgame, it's just basically getting caught up in chores. Every time you're playing in the end game, it is very much like, okay, let me log in, do my dailies, get these things, boom, all right, I'm done, I don't want to play anymore, boom, da. It's very monotonous, it's very tedious, and at a certain point it becomes a sunk cost fallacy that people have to like very much weigh their options for. And if they've been playing the game and they really care for the story, they're going to think that it's better to sink their costs, especially when they're like, okay, well, I think this character's going to be cool next time, and I really want them, so I got to build up to have the materials to get them. It very much sucks. I'm not trying to be the guy that hates on everything. In fact, I don't want my channel to be a thing that's just hatred. I very much want to say that I do like a lot of the gameplay and as well as the mini events that happen in gacha games. It just happens to be that they are very not uniform. There's a lot of stepping stones that you have to get through. There's very much clear points to slog. There are very much points where they don't want you to focus mainly on the gameplay, but instead want you to focus mainly on just doing other things to tide you over. When realistically, the reason why you got into the game was to do the combat, maybe some of the extra stuff, but overall it was the main purpose. I very much state that I like Uma Musume. I've told many people I love Uma Musume, and it's because it gets you in, you know what you're getting into, you know how you're supposed to get in there, and you do it. Everything is just built around making the horses better. I love Wua because even when you don't have certain gear, certain things unlocked, you can still progress by knowing how to play the game. I love ZZZ because even when you don't have everything down, you can still beat a lot of things. Granted, it'll take you a little bit longer, but you can still beat a lot of the things if you have the skill orientation around it. It just happens to be that most of the time, these are built with the mindset of siphoning from you rather than making you feel better about playing the game. But hey, I could be just one guy spouting into the mic. I really do want to hear what makes people love playing gacha games or what makes people not like playing gacha games. I'm very open-minded about trying newer stuff. Hell, I'm about to start trying to play Enfield when it comes out. I think by the time I posted this, I'll have some time in it. But I want to hear what you guys think. I want to understand where you're coming from, what it means for you to play these types of things. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. It's again a newer style. I know that this end section is the appendage of it. You can kind of easily tell. But hey, let's see.